The astrology of this week is nothing short of absolutely magical. Good morning all, my name is Comet and welcome to Just Another Magic Monday, your astrology forecast for the week of November 14th to November 20th. What is happening within the cosmos and how you can navigate this week's astrology. So swimming with the currents of the cosmos rather than fighting your way upstream in order to live with more magic and alignment. I am here every single Monday morning, rain or shine, bad astrology or great astrology. So I made it to my cosmic corner with a little pep in my step today, and not just because of my Americano, but because of this week's magical astrology, okay? We have Sun trine Jupiter, Venus trine Jupiter, which is this energy around opportunity, luck, feeling the wind in our sails, and my goodness, do we not deserve it? After wading through eclipse season, all of the harsh Saturn aspects, Uranus aspects, finally we have this energy where we're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Now that we've had to wade through the darkness of what needed to be transformed and let go of during Scorpio season, during eclipses, we're starting to see the whispers of possibility, the whispers of opportunity, what could be, right? And we also have harmonious aspects to Neptune as well, which is about connecting to the ethers, connecting to inspiration, intuition. And then we also have Mercury and Venus ingressing into Sagittarius this week, which is a tonal shift from the depths of Scorpio, right? Wanting to get under the surface to this idealistic, big picture, optimistic terrain of Sagittarius. Now, Mercury isn't too pleased here. Mercury is in its detriment in Sagittarius. It rules Gemini, Sagittarian's opposite, so it doesn't do too terribly well. Because when we think about the nature of Mercury, Mercury is about the facts and the figures and the details, and my love, Sagittarius is not. And furthermore, this week is not, because we also have Mars square Neptune. So this is a week to connect to the dream world. This is a week to envision what could be, the week to be intentionally optimistic about your world, about the possibilities of what's ahead. But it's not necessarily a week that I would put a ton of energy towards making those dreams real. Focus on the vision, my love. Focus on the big picture. And we'll be diving into this week's astrology to give you more of a sense around what opportunities you should lean into, what challenges to be mindful of. So cheers, my love. Happy Magic Monday. Truly a Magic Monday. Hey there, please excuse the brief interruption from editing Haley, but I just wanted to let you know that I have some holiday specials. Haley Day specials holiday specials if you are so interested for an astrology lover in your universe. We have gift cards for readings. We have recorded readings, we have my digital astrology planner, and fun little perk, fun little bonus. Not only is there a year-long digital astrology planner where you get 3 months free at both the customized tier as well as the regular tier, but anyone who buys a recorded reading as supplies last, because my love, there's only one of me and I put my entire heart and soul into every single recorded reading that I do, but as supplies last, every recorded reading comes with a free month of customized Magic Monthly. That is understanding how these aspects are coming to the surface within your chart. And I go in and I write little notes so you can keep in mind around what themes are coming up for you in January 2023. So you can either give that to somebody else that you're getting the recorded reading for, or get a loved one a recorded reading and then have the planner for yourself. I'm giving some leeway there, whoever you think could benefit from living with more alignment with the cosmos. So let's make it a magical week. Thank you for being here, and back to the video. Okay, so what's making this week so magical, right? Let's give it more texture and nuance with Vibe Check of the Week. Now, if you are new here, firstly, welcome. Secondly, Vibe Check of the Week is when we liken the week's astrology to a real life situation so that you can begin to understand what all of these Jupiter aspects, Neptune aspects, we even have some Pluto in there, what all of these feel like, right? What these planets moving into Sagittarius, what they feel like by comparing it to a real life situation, okay? So this week's Vibe Check feels like, and this may not be relatable to every single person, but I want you to liken it to if you saw this scene in a movie. Many a movie has this particular scene. I had this scene this morning. So some of you might be able to relate. Okay, so this week's astrology feels like one of those mornings when you are getting ready and you are just having a great little time putting on different clothes and just envisioning, oh, I could wear this. And then you're like, well, should I do a top knot if I wear this? Should I wear red lipstick? And then you're like, oh, no. And then you take it off and you try something else. And you're like, ooh, I could be in this romantic outfit. This is my very romantic outfit. And you try that on and you're like, I don't know. And then you try on a very edgy aesthetic. You're wearing your studded leather jacket and you're like, what if I could be edgy today? And while this is happening, you're playing music. You're in your own little music video. If you've seen this in a movie, it's typically a montage, right? The bedroom is a mess because clothes are all over, hair's being up and down, and there's makeup. And it's just like this energy where you're just kind of getting carried away. And it's not so much stressful. Like you're playing music. You feel like you're in your own little music video. You're playing with different energies that you can embody, different outfits that you can embody, different aesthetics that you can embody, and you're sort of having fun, and you're being a little overly optimistic, like you're so kind of like in the zone, clothes are going everywhere, you're making a mess, but you're having fun, right? It's important to make a mess and have some fun every so often. It's important to be in your own little dream world, that you're in a music video or you're in a montage, and that you can, be edgy, and that you could be edgy when you put on the leather jacket and see how that feels, and then put on the velvet skirt and feel how it feels to feel in this more soft, romantic aesthetic. Like there's this playfulness, right? There's this optimism. There's this big picture. However, you're not being too mindful of time. You're being a little overly optimistic. So I want you to think if you've ever had one of those mornings and you look at the clock and you're like, oh shoot, I was supposed to leave for work like 20 minutes ago, and your house is a mess and you have to go find your keys, and now you're running, right? You were vibing, you were being optimistic, you're like, oh, I can get ready in 30 minutes. And then you're deep in this music video, this montage, and you're like, oh my gosh, even if I had an airplane, I could not make it to work on time. Have you ever had a morning like that? I just had a morning like that this morning. My bedroom is literally a mess. I have clothes everywhere. A couple of you have commented on this, and sometimes when I'm getting ready, particularly when I'm getting ready to film, I feel like my outfit and my aesthetic somehow needs to like embody the vibe of the week's astrology, right? So this week I was like, well, the week starts in Scorpio, so should I be really edgy? And then I was like, then it moves into Sagittarius, so should I be very colorful? And then I was like, but there's Neptune, so should I be really dreamy? And I was just having fun playing with different ways of expressing myself. And now I have a mutable rising, so it's like I have no clear-cut aesthetic. I love that when you get ready, you can just play with different ways of being, and I would get so bored if I only wore the same color palette. And I know that works for a lot of people. Like my Taurus rising friend only wears neutrals, and she gives me a lot of my clothes. Honestly, a lot of my friends give me all of their clothes. A lot of my clothes are like hand-me-down. So if it feels like my wardrobe's very mismatched, my love it is. It's just random stuff, just because I like playing with different clothes and different ways of expressing myself. But anyways, she wears just neutral. Like I cannot imagine. And I'm like partly jealous that you have that aesthetic that's like so dialed in, you know what looks good on you and you know what you like. But I just know for me, I don't know if maybe I just haven't found my style yet, or if I just love playing with different ways of expressing myself. And I really wanted this vibe check to capture this energy of possibility and opportunity that this week's astrology entails, because you may not relate to this if you aren't into getting ready, but it's almost like when you get ready for the day, you're kind of like setting yourself up around what will happen today? Who will I be today? You're playing this realm of opportunity. What could be? Who could I be, right? And I really wanted to tap into this optimism surely, like with the Jupiter aspects, we have Sun trine Jupiter, we have Venus trine Jupiter. Like there is this energy around excitement, optimism. What could happen today? Like looking at the world through the realm of opportunity. Not easy, my love. Like this week's astrology does feel like the light at the end of the tunnel after all of this intense Scorpio and eclipse season energy that we've been wading through, right? And this is sort of week where we're finally looking at our life through the lens of opportunity. Like now that Scorpio season has, destroyed, like taken a wrecking ball to certain areas of our life and taken away what was no longer serving us and thrust all these change upon us. If the eclipse, was that intense for you. For some of us, it's a little bit more subtle, but it is intense, right? Now that that's occurred, now it's almost the energy where it's like, okay, what was it meant to be for my life departed, this wrecking ball ruined what it was that I was building. But now I have this blank lot. Now I have this energy where it's like, what do I want to create? Who do I want to be? What could happen within my world? Looking at our life through the realm and through the lens of optimism, of opportunity, of growth. And yes, optimism can certainly be a bad thing, you know, like that vibe when you're getting ready in the morning, you're like, I can get ready in 30 minutes, and then you lose track of time because you're just so attuned to the big picture, like, what could it be? Kind of like head in the clouds energy, right? And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, it's late and time is slipping through my fingers and now I'm gonna be late to this project. It's like this energy where you got a little too optimistic. Like, I'm such a believer that my tendency to run a little late is due to my optimism. I'm like, yeah, I can do that in 20 minutes. Can I just say, for anyone else who like really enjoys getting ready and trying on different outfits and trying on different makeup, isn't it like the best when you have a lot of time to do it, when you could just listen to music and just try on different things and it's not stressful? Like, it's never pleasant when you're like stressed leaving out the door, like, oh my gosh, where did the time go? But it's so nice when you just have a long cushion of time. Like today I'm getting started so much later than normal because I was just vibing. Every song that came on, I was like, ooh, what would it look like to match this aesthetic or like to do this? Like, it was just fun. And it's important to give ourselves that. Like I was saying with last week's Magic Monday, which make sure to check it out if you haven't, if you want to kind of get well versed around the energies that we're kind of walking away from. Like, it is important to protect your dreams. It is important to protect your daydreams. It's important to protect your playfulness. It's important to protect your creativity and opportunity, even when the world can feel so dismal, and even when you're being told that it's foolish to dream. You need to protect that part of you, because I think it's truly laudable to be able to look out at the world and see it through the lens of opportunity and what could be. And we need more dreamers within this world. So please protect that part of you. I know this world wants you to be rational and pragmatic all of the time, and maybe that's necessary. Even though your life has consisted of hardships and that you have to move through some really heavy energies, I think it's really beautiful to still be in that state around, well, what if? And that can show up when it comes to clothes, that can show up within art, that can show up within work, that can show up within our personal life, my love. But this week is about playing in the realm of the what if. So without further ado, I'm going to take it into our day-by-day analysis. Please note, timestamps are below. You can always jump ahead to a particular day, or if you review back on the week, jump back, be like, okay, why was Wednesday like that? Review after. And do know all times that I mention are PST. I'm on the West Coast of the United States, so ensure that you adjust your time zone to where it is that you are located. And let me know where you're located. I love to see the magic taking place all over the world. So without further ado, let's dive into the astrology of Monday, November 14th. Okay, my love, so happy Monday. As promised, we do have some magic on the menu. So the moon enters Leo at 4:48 a.m. Closing aspect prior to that is the Cancer moon trining Jupiter. So it does feel like sort of an optimistic, bouncing out of bed because you're so excited to go drink coffee, like finding pleasure within the little comforts and little treats of daily life. And then the moon enters Leo. So do be mindful, just in case you're in a different portion of the globe, like us on the West Coast will probably be asleep, but I do want to let you know the moon is void from 2:41 a.m. PST to 4:48 PST, at which point the moon enters Leo. And you know, our Leo moons have been a bit stressed, right? Because when the moon enters Leo, it's fighting with all the Scorpio placements, it's fighting with Uranus, it's fighting with Saturn. There's a lot of fixed, stressed energy within the cosmos. But today, we're not necessarily there. We're in this energy around inspiration, and there's a little bit of warmth and sunniness and generosity. Like the Leo moon is really able to Leo moon, right? It's just building to trine Chiron in Aries the following day. It really doesn't make any aspects on Monday, but I want you to play in that realm of Leo, which is warm, which is inspirational. And again, it's like, it's been fascinating just within my clients of seeing Leos, you know, going through a lot of harsh Saturn transits and, you know, Uranus transits, a lot of them. And what I've loved about seeing Leos go through it, like I haven't loved seeing them go through hardship, but what I've loved is when they still have this fierceness to protect their joy. like to fiercely continue to radiate sunlight to those that they love. Like this fierceness and still being so warm and so heart-centered in all of their dealings. Like that doesn't come easily. Like that does not come easily when you're going through hard times. Like it's something that you have to cultivate. I've had a lot of admiration for the Leos who have been able to retain their sunny ways even when going through these really challenging transits, right? And so with the Leo moon, I want you to put a little sunshine within your day, whether it's taking a long time to get ready or even like playing with the realm of inspiration, because the moon is answering to the sun, and the sun may be in the depths of Scorpio, but it's trining Neptune, which is this energy around muse, around inspiration, around playing different albums when you're getting ready and just getting lost in the music, right? Neptune is dissolving. So yes, it can make us lose track of time, lose track of reality, certainly. But it's also that delicious feeling when you just sink into an album and just like you and that album become one, or like just that song where you hear it all the time, but for some reason it's hitting you differently on this particular morning, or you're just getting enveloped into it. Like with Sun trine Neptune on Monday, I want you to play within the realm of getting lost, right? Whether it's getting lost on a hike, not literally, please make sure you have a map and like snacks and water if you do go on a hike. But I mean more so is like when you're just on a hike and you just are so absorbed in the trees that you forget to even check your phone, or getting lost through the pages of a paperback when you're just so enveloped in that story, or getting lost in an album when it's just like you are just so firmly in it. As I highlighted last week, it's good to get lost every so often, and it's good to be inspired every so often. Yes, we want to make sure we're still grounded in reality. Like I highlighted, Neptune can make us a little bit too dreamy for our liking, but how lovely to be in this realm of inspiration and of muse. And sometimes it takes you getting lost in order to get found. I'm so sorry, guys. Sometimes they talk like a Hallmark card, especially when there's a lot of like Jupiter aspects, making me a little corny. But with Neptune energy, you know, a lot of mystics and creators always talk about this energy around sometimes you need to allow yourself to just daydream or be still or do absolutely nothing for inspiration to hit you, right? And oftentimes when we're just going, there's not space for these ideas to germinate and develop and to grow and to build and to swirl around you, right? Like oftentimes if you're just like, gotta get to work, you don't have time to like play with different outfits and be like, oh, I haven't tried on this shirt, or maybe I should try something different with my hair, or try different makeup, right? And you may think of this if you're not someone who's like into getting ready. Like I'm not really, like I'm not good at makeup or anything of that nature, but it's a form of creativity. Everything's a form of creativity. So maybe it's not you literally standing in front of a palette and painting. Maybe it's like you having a creative expression around rearranging the furniture in your office. I low-key want to do that today. I'll keep you guys posted next week to see how that goes. I really want to shake things up in here. Or maybe it comes through via baking. I want you to play in the realm of inspiration. I want you to play in the realm of just moodling and daydreaming and just seeing which downloads and inspirations and little nudges you get. Because we also have Mercury in Scorpio, sextile Pluto in Capricorn on Monday, which is also viewing the world through this lens around what could be transformed, right? Being able to envision change, being able to look at things like me looking at this office and being like, I wonder if this would feel differently if this was this, and being able to look at our world through the lens of change. Because a lot of times when we're really bogged down, we're in that state where it's like, this is how it is and this is how it always will be. That's why this week I really want you to play in the what if. I want you to play with kind of moving things around. And I'm not saying be impulsive. Again, Mars is retrograde, it squares Neptune. I'm not saying be super impulsive, but furniture can always be rearranged. If you make a bad cake, you experiment with trying to make olive oil cake and it goes bad, whatever. If you try to make a painting and it doesn't look cute, whatever, life goes on. At least you tried, at least you're birthing new ideas out there. And I want you to look at your world through the realm around change and transformation, and what could be transformed or it could be shifted, or having the wherewithal and the courage really to envision new ways of being. I do want to say with Mercury sextile Pluto, be mindful of your thoughts. As I always highlight with Mercury Pluto aspects, it can make us, you know, spiral a little bit. We still have some energy in Scorpio. We can be a little obsessive, but I want you to get obsessed in the project. I want you to get obsessed into creativity. Like I want you to get obsessed into projects that are adding to your world and adding to this dreamy ethereal energy, right? It could be supportive. I just want to highlight if you do have to have a conversation, one that's more deep and intimate, that can be helpful. Leo is very heart-centered, so just ensure that you're connecting to your heart and speaking honestly. Like Mercury Scorpio is about getting to the core of the situation. The whisper of the sextile to Pluto and Capricorn is around, this is what's happening and this is how I want things to change and transform, right? Like a lot of times with eclipse season, we have a lot of contrast around ways that we don't want to show up, things that we don't want within our life. And this is sort of the week around, now that I've had this contrast around, I'm not super satisfied with this aspect of my life, I'm not satisfied with how this office is set up, there's almost this energy this week around, what if we play with how things can be transformed? What if we play with the opportunities that could come in? And then I have that contrast. How can I dial into what do I want to call in? There's also Venus in Scorpio trining Jupiter in Pisces, which is very creative, as I highlighted, very kind of aesthetically driven. So this is a great week. You know, Venus is beauty, right? She's not terribly happy. She's in her detriment of Scorpio, but I will say this is a nice shopping time. This is a nice redecorating time. This is a nice time for art and beauty. I will say it's very nice as it relates to love and connection and like deeper love, right? Scorpio is saying shallow with how it is that it cares. And with the trine to Jupiter in Pisces, it's very heart opening, optimistic. It's also good when it comes to money, feeling this element around abundance. Like important to note that this little trine is occurring in water signs, and water is about flowing, right? And I know there's a lot of feeling of scarcity just with like inflation, and I'm not, you know, glossing over the serious financial realities that a lot of us are wading through at this moment. You are able to sort of find some joy around treating yourself or investing in something that you're so happy about, so excited about. Isn't it good like when you make a good purchase, when you're just like, oh, this is the perfect gift for my friend, or like, oh, I'm so excited for this, and the amount of money feels good, and you got to, you know, give it to a entrepreneur or a company that you really believe in, and there's such an energy to when a purchase feels good, right? Like we are, you know, in some sense of the word, losing money, but we're really just putting it towards the people we believe in, the creativity we believe in, and we feel that payoff. And we have this feeling whenever we look at the item that we purchased or the service that we purchased, we have this warmth, we have this happiness. It felt good beginning to end. Like that's really how our purchases should be oriented. Like oftentimes if you go into something with like an energy of like guilt or anything of that nature, you won't always be as happy with your purchase. Like from a couple weeks ago when I was talking about the tiny horse incident, like that didn't feel good. But with Venus trine Jupiter, it's like, okay, let's put our money towards causes that we believe in, or items that feel good, or services that feel good, and trust like money will find us in return. Like water is all about letting it flow, right? On Tuesday, Venus trine Jupiter exacts, but we're likely gonna feel it build on Monday a lot more because it exacts very early in the morning. So like 1 a.m. PST, 4 a.m. EST. So again, anchoring into these abundant, beautiful, love, heart-centered energies. The Leo moon is a little stressed, I will highlight. It is squaring off with Uranus, opposing Saturn, so things that are unexpected, feeling bogged down as it relates to work and to responsibilities. Again, sometimes you need to protect your dreams. Sometimes you need to protect your creativity. Sometimes you need to protect your joy. Even if you had a bad day at work, still being able to like come home and crack a joke with your partner, or having a bad day at work and still taking that opportunity to go to the studio and dance because it's what you love to do. Like sometimes joy isn't so much a feeling, but a virtue that we should practice and dedicate ourselves towards cultivating. Like things can be frustrating. Even with this optimistic week, things can be frustrating. Like we have the sun answering to Mars retrograde. Things can go wrong, right? We can feel less motivated, right? We can feel more drained. Things can feel harder, right? With Mars retrograde, we can feel more frustrated. But I will say on Tuesday, like even as frustrating and as annoying your day might have been, like practicing joy that evening, whether it's watching a silly show with your partner, laughing about something silly, just being like, oh my gosh, can you believe this? You know, when things are just so annoying that you almost just want to laugh, like that kind of feels like the energy. And I just want you to protect that. I want you to consciously pour into that bucket within your world of joy and optimism. Not always easy, especially if, you know, you've been going through this eclipse season. I want you to feel those. I want you to feel those emotions if they are coming to the surface, but if it's accessible, I want you to find excuses to laugh. I want you to find excuses to play. I want you to find excuses to create, okay? And then that evening, Venus enters Sagittarius. And so I should mention Tuesday, you know, Venus is at the anaretic degree, it's at 29 degrees. So there's also this urgent, restless feeling. Nothing can happen fast enough, you know? And then with Venus entering Sagittarius, there is a shift. And we're really going to feel a shift as it relates to our money, as it relates to our love life. Venus in Sagittarius is about freedom. Like Venus in Scorpio was like, I want your soul. And then Venus in Sagittarius is like, I want you by my side as we explore the world, right? It's this energy where love should be freeing. Love should make us feel more connected to the world rather than closed off from it. We find that you're looking at your connection through this lens around what could be, right? Like maybe this is taking some time to dream with your partner. What do you want? What if we lived here? What if we did this? Maybe not everything will happen, right? But playing in the realm of possibility, right? If you are single with Venus in Sagittarius, what if I had a partner who did this? Maybe I should go to this salsa club. What if I start dating this salsa dancer? Like, who knows what could happen, right? Anything can happen. And with Venus answering to Jupiter in its domicile of Pisces, it's this energy where we can be a little too optimistic as it relates to Venus. Venus matters, so a little optimistic as it relates to our finances, but how lovely to be in that space of what if, particularly after all of the hardships that a lot of us have been going through with all of the eclipse seasons. Like, it's beautiful to be in that space of what if. When it comes to money, you know, you can always make more. Like Sagittarius is very deep around experiences, like being wealthy and new experiences. So I do want you to say yes, but make sure that you're still staying attuned to the budget. Like I said, with Mercury and Sagittarius, Mars squaring Neptune, the details aren't coming through this week, right? We're running late. We're a little over our budget. Like being 5 minutes late to work when this morning you were like dancing around in your underwear to one of your favorite songs, paying $20 to go to a salsa class where you laugh so hard your tummy hurts. It's worth it sometimes. That joy, that experience is worth it sometimes. Wednesday the 16th is the official sort of wrap up of eclipse season, right? So it is the last quarter moon. So it's essentially tying up the eclipses with a little bow. So I do want you to take some time on Wednesday to really reflect on what the eclipses brought to the surface for you. And last quarter moons are all about what it is that we are ready to sort of release. And that's why I'm saying this week, it's like, it's not so much about making all these things happen and launching things because it is a waning week as we prepare for next week's Sagittarius new moon, but it is around playing with the realm of possibility, right? And with this last quarter moon, it's sort of just like this check-in around what did the eclipses bring to the surface? What contrast did I get within my world around what I don't want? You know, the people I don't want to be surrounded by, the habits I don't want, and how can I continue to move in a direction that feels, you know, inspiring, like important. A lot of the planets are now shifting in Sagittarius, which is the shift around viewing our life as a quest, the arrival to meaning, like being okay if you're not exactly where you want to be, because life is in the expansion, right? Life is in the growth towards our desired target. Like Sagittarius is the archer. They have their arrow pointed in the distance and they're on this quest to find meaning for themselves. And oftentimes we can be like, well, as soon as I'm there, as soon as my life looked like this, but Sagittarius energy reminds us, no, it's in the journey. You know, my outfit today, it's definitely not going to be worn to the Met Gala. Like, it's definitely not the most fashionista thing ever, but I just had so much fun putting it together. I just had so much fun getting ready. I had so much fun trying on different clothes and trying on different makeup styles and trying different hairstyles. It wasn't so much about the destination around the actual outfit I put together. It was about the journey. I'm telling you, the more and more planets move into Sagittarius, the more I'm going to keep talking really, really corny, like a Hallmark card. But seriously, that is the emphasis of more and more of the planets moving into Sagittarius, is playing with this realm of possibility and moving into the space around what if, and not being like, it needs to happen now, but being in the realm around, I'm on my journey, I'm on my way, right? I'm having fun. I'm having fun on the journey. That matters more than you think. But I do want to highlight, you know, if the eclipses have been intense for you, Wednesday, you know, you might not be there. You might be like, well, life is just a journey and I'm on my way. Like, you might be dealing with some major shifts because last quarter moon is about releasing, okay? So there might be things where it's like, dang, I wanted this to work out, but it just didn't. I need to let this go. And like giving yourself the space to grieve that, because when we give ourselves a space to feel the most intense of our emotions, we also grant ourselves a space to feel the real high highs, right? So giving yourself the space, if the eclipses have been intense for you, make sure, if you haven't yet, to watch my eclipse video to sort of just reflect on the eclipse story that's been permeating within your world. But there is energy around a very can-do vibe around this last quarter moon, like the Leo moon sextiles Mars in Gemini very early around 4 a.m. PST on Wednesday. So I would definitely recommend working out on that day, particularly if you're having any frustration. You know, Mars retrograde, it can be helpful to move some energy physically. And then Mercury trines Jupiter. So even if we're having awareness around, okay, this needs to let go, this is not serving me, that energy of contrast, right? There's this optimism around like, okay, now that I'm releasing, you know, this part-time job, I have the space to call in this. Or like, now that I'm releasing this particular friendship or partnership, I have the space to call in really soulful aligned connections. Like, there is this optimism on Wednesday. Like, it is kind of reflecting on the eclipses, but there's this energy around keeping our gaze set on the future. Understanding that as painful as this can be to say goodbye, the best is yet to come. And knowing we are in alignment with our soul, with the shifts that are occurring at this moment. And the Leo moon does square Mercury in Scorpio, so not super aligned as it relates to having really important conversations. There could be sort of like pride clashes, or also like this battle between the heart and the head, like what makes sense and what it is that you're feeling. And so I would deeply recommend trying to wrap up with your important tasks before 3:55 p.m., at which point the moon is void, until it enters Virgo at 5:04 p.m. And then the Virgo moon promptly squares Venus, which is newly in Sagittarius, which is this energy around Virgo moon wants to control and organize, and Venus in Sagittarius is like, we need to experience, we need to get into our big picture. Like many of you know, I am a Virgo moon, so I do find a lot of emotional comfort in doing the same things a lot of the week, right? Like, I walk every day and I typically will take the same trail, and lately I've been experimenting with finding different trails, and sometimes it makes my Virgo moon nervous. Like, what if we get lost? What if it's not as good as your typical one? It's just a clash for novelty and adventure versus our routine. So like, you might be like, oh, I can't wait to go home and like work out, I'm gonna eat my salmon, and then you get a call from your friend like, happy hour, tacos and margs, what do you think? That's gonna be a personal decision you need to make, my love. Magic Monday cannot tell you if you should go get margs and tacos or if you should stay at home and make your salmon, okay? I'm just highlighting there feels to be a clash between these are my routines versus, but this is kind of fun. I will say nurture spontaneity and adventure as more and more of the cosmos shift into Sagittarius, but again, sometimes we do need nights of, you know, making salmon and working out for our own mental and physical health. So my love, tune inward and check in. On Thursday, the 17th, Mercury enters Sagittarius. So as I highlighted, Mercury doesn't particularly enjoy being here. Now, does it have its blessings? Absolutely. I love Mercury Sagittarius individuals. They are big picture thinkers. They are individuals who can get you excited about the possibility. Their nature is just to launch out different ideas. Like I always think of whenever I think of Mercury and Sagittarius, there's two friends that jump to mind. Every time I see them, they have all of these ideas and inspiration, and they have a way of communicating it that gets me excited about it too. I'm like, oh my gosh. And of course, me with my Virgo placements is like, what about these details and this details? And they're like, don't mind the details, focus on the vision, right? I always say, you know, everybody has eyes, but Sagittarius placements and new moon babies and many other aspects in astrology have vision, right? There's a difference. There's a difference to be able to view the world through opportunity and through excitement, even when the world has beat you down, even when there's been hardships. Like, I think it's very laudable to be able to view things around what could be, right? And with Mercury and Sagittarius, I want you to give yourself permission to do that. And don't worry about the details. Do not fret on the details right now. With Mars squaring Neptune, if you take too much on your plate, you're gonna feel frazzled. You're gonna feel very distracted. So with Mercury Sagittarius, just focus on the big picture. Focus on the meaning that you're cultivating within your world. I will highlight, you know, a lot of us work with mercurial aspects in our work, and with Mercury and Sagittarius, just making sure to double check. We can be a little bit more optimistic as it relates to time, like being like, oh, I just need 10 minutes to prepare for this meeting. It's no big deal. I just need 30 minutes to get ready. Like, just knowing at this time, detail orientation is not super high within the cosmos. So we might need to double check a little bit more, leave ourselves a little bit more of a cushion of time. But I do want you to play in the realm of opportunity and possibility. Friday, November 18th, feels like a day that is very riddled with anxiety, okay? Because the Virgo moon opposes Neptune in Pisces. Now with this is sort of energy where the Neptune is activated, which is around envisioning. It's about imagination. And the Virgo moon is a very nervous placement. So it's almost this energy about imagining all of the bad things that could happen. And with the square to Mars and Gemini, this is sort of like a dissipation and a scattering of our energy. So with this mutable T-square forming, we could just be this energy around getting so distracted around what if this happens and starting this project and then being like, oh, but I have to do this. Just being very nervous, sort of like flitting around and missing details and getting even more stressed. Like this is very much the vibe within the vibe check of when you look at the clock and you're like, oh, I'm late. Where's my coffee? Where are my keys? Oh my gosh, like just running around a nervous wreck all of a sudden. Like you're vibing, you're playing music, then all of a sudden you're like, I am going to be so late. Oh my gosh, I have a meeting. Where's my coffee? Where's all my things? Like that panic, like slow down, one step at a time. I do want to encourage you on Friday, trying to keep track of time. It's not going to be easy with Neptune. Like Neptune seriously dissolves our energy. It dissolves our focus. But trying to keep track of time, trying to keep track of assignments, grounding yourself down. As I highlighted, writing things down is helpful with Mars and Gemini. And I just learned this tip on TikTok actually, around how really successful people actually don't use to-do lists. I'm big on to-do lists, so I was like, they don't? They time block. They time block. So I've been experimenting with it myself around just being like, from 9 to 10, I'm gonna do this. And from 10 to 11, I'm gonna do this. And it's honestly been very, very helpful. I mean, today I'm very behind schedule because of my vibing in the morning of getting ready for like an hour, trying in different outfits. So again, it's not always perfect, but at least it helps me reorient to what I should be doing at any given time and helps me call my attention back when I am being distracted, right? And also just helps you compartmentalize. Like again, with this energy, just feel like anxiety, worrying about what if this happens and then this happens and did I miss this detail? Like almost just stopping yourself in that spiral and be like, hey, let's slow down. We're not spiraling right now. According to the schedule, we are meant to be working on this particular project right now, and it helps you compartmentalize around not stressing unnecessarily, just attuning to the matter at hand, grounding down. That is the part of Virgo moon, you know, mind-body connection, grounding down. Sun is sextiling Pluto, which is helping us this week around a little bit of some wind in our sails. So maybe you're not feeling this distracted energy necessarily around anxiety. Maybe it's around excitement. Like I definitely go down those energies where I'm just like listening to music and vibing, and I'm daydreaming about this, and I'm looking at a menu of a restaurant I want to go to, and it's almost just playing in that realm of possibility. Again, beautiful place to be in, but if you do have a lot to do at work, pulling yourself back, maybe time blocking a little time, like during lunch, research that menu of where you want to try this weekend, right? With Sun sextile Pluto, it's believing in change, it's believing in transformation, it's feeling the wind in our sails, it's feeling powerful, it's feeling a little bit more confident, so long as we're able to, you know, ground down. And then the Virgo moon also trines Pluto and Capricorn that evening. So feeling powerful, feeling connected to our body. Remember to ground down, move your body after work, something of that nature would be great. And then the Virgo moon sextiles the Scorpio sun. Again, both of these placements can be worrywarts in different ways. You know, you might feel a call this weekend to want to spend more time alone in your own space. We are in the waning crescent moon as we prepare for next week's Sagittarius new moon. Make sure to check out the video if you have not yet to understand what new start is starting within your world based on your chart. So honor that call and allow yourself to self-soothe in the ways that feel good, right? And note your dreams. So like Friday night, Saturday morning, as the Virgo moon does oppose Neptune in Pisces. So they could be interesting. And then that evening, the Virgo moon does oppose Jupiter in Pisces. So if you do decide to go out or whatever, there could be a little leaning towards excess, anything of that nature. So just be mindful. One margarita might be enough, you know? On Saturday, the 19th, the moon enters Libra at 2:58 a.m. And Libra speaks to harmony, balance, one-to-one. As I highlighted, this is the waning crescent moon, also known as the balsamic moon. So you might be feeling more called to like kind of spend more time, maybe alone or just with the people who you're basically alone with. Does that make sense? I don't mean that in like a lonely way. I mean that in terms of like, you don't have to put on a show. You don't have to put on real clothes. You just are yourself with that person. So it would be really great time to spend some quality time with your lover, with your partner, with your dear friends, especially with that Libra moon sextiling Mercury and Venus in Sagittarius. This is my date night pick, truly. Like there's this Libra energy around wanting to connect, and I really want you to fuel the what if within your connection, whether it's with a friend or with a partner, like almost just playing within this realm around what if we lived on a beach together, or like what if once the kids are off at school, we could do this with our lives. Like playing within that realm. Is everything going to happen? No. Did I wear all of those clothes? No. But it's such a beautiful place to be in, to imagine and to envision and to fuel your connection through that optimism for the future. Great for connections as well as the Libra moon sextiles Mercury and Sagittarius. So just if you have something to talk about, I do want to highlight on Saturday, Mars is squaring Neptune. This can be a energy suck. You could feel very drained. You could feel very scattered. Again, analysis paralysis, feeling all over the place, feeling frantic, having a lot you wanted to do with your Saturday and looking back and be like, what did I do all day? Like such is the nature of Mars in Gemini squaring Neptune. So just something to be mindful of. You know, Mars is still retrograde, and this is a hallmark part of the retrograde story, is these squares to Neptune, which is almost the vibe where you have an outfit on and then you're like, oh, but what about that one? Oh, but what about that one? And what about that one? And then all of a sudden everything's a mess and you're running late. Like, I do want to encourage this dreamy energy, but as with everything, too much of a good thing makes a bad thing, right? So being mindful around shiny object syndrome, or being like, should I actually order something online? Like when you're getting ready, now you're knee deep into online shopping. Stay focused, stay attuned to what is in front of you. Conserve your energy. Again, with Mars retrograde, you cannot be too stingy with your energy. If you know you need to help your friend with a task on Saturday, being stingy with your energy when it comes to helping someone else out, right? Or when you know you have this work project to get done and you have this optimistic Sagittarius energy where it's like, you can get it all done. Be a little bit more discerning about what you can realistically do, honestly. Maybe you're time blocking, like I've been trying to do. Maybe you're time blocking and being like, oh, I can pack in 4 hours. But that doesn't include time that you need to eat and go to the bathroom, like those life things. Like if you think something is going to take 4 hours, give it a cushion of like 6 hours with Mars retrograde squaring Neptune. Just expect things to take longer. Expect yourself to get a little distracted, and expect yourself to have to softly pull yourself back. Like, oh, okay, we're doing this. If you know you have to do some work stuff on the weekend, be a little stingy if someone asks you, hey, can you do this for me? It's like, no, I need to attend to this, okay? The Sagittarius placements are whispering, you can do it all, you can have it all. And it's like, be a little bit more conscious around what you are putting energy towards, okay? You can't have it all, you can't have it all, but Mars is retrograde, so will you have energy to do it all and have it all? On Sunday, the 20th, great when it comes to connection. There's a nice little air grand trine in the cosmos lit up by the Libra moon, trining Mars in Gemini, trining Saturn in Aquarius. Great to work together, brainstorm, play within the realm of ideas. Like, do you have an idea friend? Do you have an idea friend? Like I always think when I think of idea friend, I think of my boyfriend's best friend, where it's like every time I see him, he's like, Haley, what do you think about this idea? It's gonna be called this. I'm trying to think of some of the ideas he has shared with me, but it's like every time I see him, there's a new business idea, there's a new thing, and we like brainstorm, we like go back and forth about it. And again, it's like Mercury's in Sagittarius, like the details aren't always there. Like if he comes up with an idea, this wasn't one of his ideas. His ideas are actually really good. But let's say he came to me and was like, Haley, what do you think about a rug that cleans your shoes as you walk by it? You know, like that's Mercury in Sagittarius. It's like the big picture, what if? Whereas, what if? And like the cosmos aren't really supporting us this week when it comes to the details. Like, well, how does it clean your shoes? And how are we going to market this? Who does need this? Like, this is the energy where it's just like, yeah, and what if it could do this? It's attuning to the big picture. It's attuning it to the vision. And with this air current trine, it's bouncing ideas off one another and not bursting one another's bubbles. Like, that'll never work. Like, how beautiful to dare to dream, to want to put things out there, to refuse to get jaded by this world, still see the world in terms of opportunity and possibility and what could happen, right? So Sunday is a great time to spend time with people, brainstorm, bounce energy off of one another, connect truly, especially with the Scorpio sun trining Jupiter in Pisces on the same day. This is confidence. This is optimism. Again, too much optimism can be a bad thing sometimes. Definitely when getting ready this morning, I was a bit too optimistic with my time, but I had a good time. So again, sometimes, you know, whether it's with your idea friend, whether it's getting ready in the morning, you know, make all of these ideas into real companies. You can't wear all these clothes and embody all these aesthetics. You maybe won't live out every single creative idea that you have, but you're in that space of daring to dream. You're in that space of seeing opportunity. Like this week's astrology, I chatted about it in this week's Magic Monthly. Just a PS, if you ever want to join, just click the join button below. I make you a little like digital astrology planner and a little calendar where you have a big picture look at the month's astrology. But I wrote about this week's forecast. I was like, this month's astrology feels like the darkness before dawn, right? Because the beginning of it was scorpionic and eclipse and intense, and it's like the energy around, will the sun ever rise? And then this is like the week where you're starting to see the sun over the horizon, right? It's starting to get warmer. You're starting to envision, what will this day bring me? Who will I be in this new day? Playing in that realm of possibility. And as more and more the cosmos shift into Sagittarius, there's more and more of this clearance around what magic and what wonder this day will bring. And I want you to play in that realm of possibility. Maybe not every single idea and project will come to fruition, certainly not with Mars retrograde in Gemini squaring Neptune, but being in that space of birthing out new ideas and dreaming and brainstorming is such a more optimistic and positive place to be in than if you feel defeated by life, right? Sometimes we need to fuel our desire to dream. We have to protect our desire to dream. And I want you to play in that realm this week. So my loves, the Magic Monday mantra of the week is I dare to dream. And truly, it takes courage. You know, it takes courage to be like, okay, reality, I see you. I see what the news says. I see it all, but I'm still going to dream because I deserve to protect my wonder. I deserve to protect my dreams. I deserve to protect my creativity. Because oftentimes when we let our dreams die, when we let our creativity die, like our inner child is kind of like wrapped in that, right? We lose touch with ourselves, and you don't need to make it all happen. Sometimes the cakes are a flop. Sometimes the outfits, my video channel, sometimes I look back on outfits and I'm like, girly girl, what were you thinking with that makeup look, with that outfit? But at least I was trying. At least I was experimenting. When we experiment, when we create, we're playing with opportunity. We're playing with possibilities. We're playing with new ways that we can show up. We're playing with putting new ideas out into the world that maybe other people will find value in. And what a beautiful place to be in. I think it speaks to hope. I think it speaks to wonder. Because when we create, we are envisioning and hoping for a more beautiful world, and a world that is made more beautiful by our presence and by our creativity and by our ideas and by our participation in it. As more and more the cosmos shift into Sagittarius, it's important to remind ourselves, Sagittarius isn't optimistic because it's like positive Pollyanna, ignoring everything. Like it's a sign after Scorpio, right? So it understands the depths of sadness, the depths of truth in this human experience, but it chooses to find the good, not in spite of the darkness, but because of the darkness. Like when you understand the depths of this existence, you are so ferocious about protecting the light or moving towards the light or believing in the good or finding hope in what could be, right? And you are so much more devoted towards finding it, which is why Sagittarius, it's a sign of truth. It's not about being a positive Pollyanna and ignoring all of the bad in the world. It's saying, I've been through so much, I deserve to protect my joy, okay? I deserve to protect my wonder. I deserve to be around the friends who inspire me to dream and to create. I deserve that after what I've gone through, right? So I just want to encourage you to have that daringness to dream, to create. Please let me know how you love to express yourself, what your favorite form of creativity is. I would love to know. My loves, my Instagram handle is @HaleyCometAstrology. My TikTok is the same. I would love to connect with you over there. And until you meet again, drink lots of water and stay magical.